Staff layoffs, game failures, and company shutdowns are all products of VR's uncertain future. In order to keep the dream of a thriving VR industry alive, VR must succeed in 2024. There is something different, something unique about our headsets compared to any other type of technical medium, and in this video I'm going to show you how, with the introduction of 3 tech giants, VR is going to be saved from a tragic end and taken to a whole new level of popularity that we've never seen before. When you visit a family member's or friend's house, what VR headset do they have? Is it the Valve Index or HP Reverb G2? No. 99% of the time it's going to be either the Quest 2 or maybe the Quest 3 if they are fancy. For pretty much all of VR's modern existence, the industry has been operating with the rule of one mentality, with Meta as the pioneer leading any and all advances in VR development, and just overall carrying the industry with its seemingly unlimited amount of money. I'm not suggesting Mark is some altruistic angel who's only here to help the masses. It's quite the opposite. But there is no denying that without the Quest line, VR would be nowhere near as popular as it is right now. We would see over half of the entire VR player base and popularity disappear overnight. And that's not even the worst of it. VR has gone through so many massive technological advances over the past decade. But have you ever imagined what VR would look like if the Quest line did not exist? Mark Zuckerberg has pumped over $47 billion into the VR industry. That is an unfathomable amount of money. I can't even pronounce the word properly. That's how unfathomable it is. That has not only gone into research and development for new VR headsets, but also into funding game studios, like the makers of the popular Asgard's Wrath 2. Think about all of the popular games you play right now. Well, without such massive investments from Mark, you shouldn't be surprised that most of the popular games you play wouldn't even exist in the first place. The fact of the matter is, Meta are the only ones keeping VR mainstream right now, and that support is untenable. Constant spending with no earning is not how businesses ran long term. The cracks in the wall are already beginning to show, an obvious first sign being the closing of VR studios and online games, with the most recent one being First Contact Entertainment, who shut down directly blaming the lack of support for VR within the community for their closure. That is a massive red flag for any future studios with an interest in VR game development, suggesting that there is a major lack of consumers within the VR community. This doesn't apply to only PlayStation exclusives either. The creators of Eye of the Temple said that despite great reviews on Steam, they did not break even until they had their games ported onto the Quest headsets, once again showing how vital Meta's support is for gaming as a whole. That isn't even the half of it. What about the biggest VR MMO on the market? Well, Zenith has been losing money for over a year now, and are in a state of do or die. Things are far from stable right now, and if VR keeps going the way it is currently, I fear it's only a matter of time until VR goes the way of the dodo. What are you even talking about, Caden? I have so many games to play in VR. Look at my Steam VR library. Yes, there are a lot of titles out there, but what is the ratio of Half-Life Alyx's to hentai date simulator games? Jesus Christ, why are there so many? What we need is some high-budget, headset-defining titles like Halo Combat Evolved was for the Xbox. Something revolutionary that is unique and shows off the features that only VR is capable of. That is why we need some more games in VR, just not hentai ones. But what if I told you that VR is about to get the competition to drive massive amounts of growth and adoption that we so desperately need? All in this 1 year. Pico, Sony, Apple, Google, Samsung. These are the names of tech giants joining the virtual reality arms race this year. I don't know if you know this already, so let me spell it out for you. This is huge. That is 4 meta level companies, wait, scratch that, 4 companies beyond meta level. These are trillion-dollar giants all throwing their money bags into the virtual ring. Apple with their $3,500 spatial computer coming in less than a month on February 2nd, 2024. ByteDance, the owners of Pico, developing a Project Swan to compete with the Vision Pro sometime this year. Sony coming out with a cutting-edge enterprise headset To top it all off, Google and Samsung are joining forces to take on Apple in yet another industry, with the headset currently titled Project Muon, or Muhan. But did you know, the Muon was already in development before the Vision Pro was actually announced, but was taken back to the design phase when the Vision Pro was announced, probably so they don't get embarrassed by Apple, so you know things are getting serious. You might be thinking, well, these are all enthusiast headsets, 90% of VR users are not going to buy any of these. And I'm ready to debate you in the comments, but to that I say, when Apple release a new phone, do they only release the most expensive enthusiast model? Did they only release the iPhone 15 Pro Max? No, they did not. So, why would they only release one headset then? It is to test the waters. This is backed by the fact that Apple had only 70 to 80,000 Vision Pros manufactured for the launch day. That is quite a low amount, right? But this is exactly why 2024 is the fork in the road for VR, where people will either look back in time and see a gimmick, or the start of something truly magical. If headsets like the Vision Pro, Project Muon or Swan can succeed, and show just how much money they are missing out on, it will convince these mega minted tech corporations that VR is an untapped market ready to be heavily invested in. I am confident that in 2024 and beyond, we are going to see more affordable headsets be released after the Vision Pro's potential success, and the emergence of VR's new Big Three that will force people to take VR seriously. Developing and releasing tech products is these companies' lifeblood, and with less and less people buying new phones on launch and deciding to keep their current tech products for longer, investors are going to want a return back on their money, and what better way than to branch out into potentially the technology of the future. If you think that these are the only people interested in VR, then you are very mistaken. The underdog of the VR scene is lurking and waiting for the right time to strike. And if you want to find out exactly who that is, then click on the video on the screen, and if you made it this far, like and subscribe, and follow my socials in the description down below.